Oh, Emma.
Please welcome back Emma Willmann.
Oh, Emma.
You're Emma.
Oh, okay, Emma.
Here we go. Let's get crazy.
Oh, Emma.
Welcome to episode 1 of Emma's Bunker. I got a whole setup here. I got microphones. I've got video cameras. I've got 2 video cameras, so you can be watching this on YouTube. And I've got this little thing that lets me switch back and forth between the 2 video cameras. Ba-bam, ba-bam, bam, boom. I look way better in one of them, the one where it's blurred out. So I'm going to be sticking to that one. Yeah. All right. There it is. Yeah, I got all the stuff. All that is needed is for me to just start doing it. How many things in life relate back to that? I got all the stuff to be a freaking Olympic runner. The only thing that's missing is me doing it. Maybe I couldn't be an Olympic runner because I don't have long enough running feet. That's a better excuse. Okay. Speaking of excuses, here's the thing to really set the tone. I've got ADD. I jump around, but I'm going to keep it going in a way where I bring things back around. I'm going to really do everything I can because I hate when you're listening to something and someone's like, "Oh, I'm going to tell you guys about the time I kidnapped a donkey." And then they go off on a tangent, and then they start talking about something, and like it's the end of the episode, and you're like, "Hey, what happened with the donkey?" You know, I'm gonna really, really try to like not do stuff like that. But it's gonna be a process, and all I can give you is my word that I am sincerely trying right now. This is for your quarantined listening pleasure. Thank you, seriously, thank you for being here. This is something I've always wanted to try, doing a longer form thing on my own, and I'm stepping out, going for it. So thank you for being a part of it. I really appreciate it. And yeah, and here we are. So in this first episode, I've just been like reflecting on some stuff. I was reflecting on right before we went into quarantine. I was at a show in Louisiana. Do you guys remember shows? It used to be when people would get together in groups and watch something. Seems like 10,000 billion years ago. Bah. But I was at a show, and it was me and my friend Justin Hoff. And first of all, women were being very aggressive with Justin in a way that startled me. Justin's a little man. He's about 5'4". I'm 5'3", so you do the math on that. Boom. 1 inch difference. Good job. Took me a minute too. Justin's a little man, and I asked him, I said, "Justin, what the fuck?" Because women were like sending him, lots of text messages, pictures. This one woman was like, I'll pay to change your flight. I will pay you money, like soliciting him like he's a hooker. Which, more power to you, but it's not his thing. So I was like, I didn't know women were coming on to people like this. And he was like, because I'm shorter, I think they feel comfortable coming on to me, and because he's like, I'm not threatening, I'm a little guy. Interesting. But I got to see firsthand women, it was like their time to shine with coming up to sending Justin pictures and messages. There's a couple women that him and I were talking to. Nice, quick, fun little interaction. Walk away, his phone's like bing, 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 bing. His phone doesn't make that sound. I'm just bad at impressions. Bing, 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 bing. I'm Justin's fault. His phone just like bing. And then there was the girl sending them pictures that we had just talked to. I said, "Those little innocent looking motherfuckers." He was like, "Yeah." And then I was just like, wow, I didn't know. There's this whole underworld. I didn't know about all this. So good for him. So anyway, Justin and I we're in St. Louis, and a girl brought this beautiful dog, Winston, to the show. Now, Winston's not a support animal, but she said he was a support animal. Right? Maybe he is. He's a big bulldog, one-eyed bulldog, beautiful bulldog. And so the general manager that night was like, "Oh, there's a support animal here." And I said, "Is it a one-eyed bulldog, perhaps?" And he was like, "Yeah, actually, yeah." And I'm like, I know just who it is. Winston. So after the show, the general manager's like, "Hey, don't even worry about it, that you had that bulldog. A couple weeks ago, a woman had an emotional support pony. an emotional support pony. And he was like, yeah, it was weird, which, sure, yeah, okay. That's a very specific thing for emotional support. Should an emotional support pony? And he was like, people are crazy. What's next? People are going to be saying, oh, this is my emotional support friend, Ted. He supports me emotionally. He should get a free seat in the plane because I can't be here without him. Where's the line there? And I totally understand that line of thinking, like, oh, these emotional support animals, it's gone too far. But you know what? Let's look at it another way. Let's look at it a way where this woman is a pioneer who figured out what her problem is. And who in life can really say that? Not me. Sometimes I'm like, oh, my problem is drinking because I don't get to drink enough. My problem is gummy bears because I don't get to eat enough of them. My problem is I get sensitive. I'm very sensitive, or I can be defensive, but those aren't, I didn't then find the animal solution to that because no one's starting out at a pony. You start yourself out at a dog. You go, I want an emotional support animal or whoever that comes about. And you're like, okay. And then for most people, if it's not working, I'm going to assume they go off a deep end. Or they make it work. They're like, this dog isn't supporting me. I'm going to find the right dog. Or I'm going to find the right thing. But this woman was like, this dog's not working. Let me try something else. And I doubt she went from dog to pony. I doubt. I know for me, if I had a dog, it didn't work out, I tried a turtle, I would have tapped out a turtle. If it was like, oh, Emma's got an emotional support dog, didn't work. Okay, now I got a turtle. Okay, didn't work. Well, at a certain point, I'm going to be like, maybe I'm the common denominator here. That's the problem. But this woman kept trying and found herself a freaking pony. What kind of crimes could have been prevented if the criminal just found the animal that they needed? I mean, the general manager said that the pony was making people uncomfortable when it was pooping, and it had a poop bag. But it was making people uncomfortable, so they took the pony away. And I went, you took the pony away from Pony Woman? And before I could even say anything, he goes, yeah, it didn't go well. She had a breakdown. Yeah, she did. Yes, she did. I mean, told ya. Yes, she did. I mean, she had a breakdown so bad at some point in her life that the only thing that fixed it was a fucking pony. That's oddly specific. Here's the thing. If someone's like got a duck and they're like, you don't want to see me without my duck. Guess what? I don't want to fucking see him without the duck. Like, oh, you seem so nice and normal. It's because of the duck. What happens when you take the duck away? I don't know. They chop off the little kid's toes. Who knows? It's such a specific solvent to a problem that I don't want to know what problem is then erupted when that specific thing is taken away. I don't want any part in that equation. So good for this woman and her emotional support pony. She's got to be rich. I mean, that's definitely, she's got to be, that's a very privileged emotional support animal. And you know what? Also, maybe she's a genius. She can literally ride away. If she's in a conversation she doesn't like, screw being like, I'm going to take a smoke break, and then someone being like, but Emma, you don't smoke. And you're like, well, I'm about to start because I hate this conversation. She can just be like, yeah, come here, horse. Or I'm sure she's always got it at arm's length, so she can just pull it to her, hop on it, and the horse is probably like, whoa, I'm not made for riding on, I'm just here for support, or whatever. And whatever, she can trot away, probably not far. It's probably got to pull over. It's hurting its little pony back. It wasn't a horse. The difference between a horse and a pony is size. Pretty sure. Actually, I'm not sure about that. You guys want to learn what the difference between a horse and a pony is? Because that's going to get me into my next thing, where what's the stuff that we can be learning now in this new time that we've got, in this new perspective that we've got, when literally anything outside of your house is taken away. And that's a real come to Jesus moment, or come to Allah moment, or whatever your person is. Come to a realization moment of, what is my fucking house? What is my house? Literally, where do I live? And what kind of snacks do I got? Side note, I'm walking and perusing the refrigerator way too much. What is it? And then also, what is it like? What does it feel like? And where am I comfortable and where am I uncomfortable? And what do I want it to be? Okay, bringing it back around because I said I would. What's the difference between a horse and a pony? It's got to be inches. If they say something about like something weird, like one can pee standing up, I'm going to be very disturbed. Okay, here it is. Oh wait, and I can share it with you guys if you're watching. Oh no, I can't. The difference between horses and ponies. I tried. Sorry, guys. Didn't work. But I can still read it. Okay, the difference between horses and ponies are the main distinction between ponies and horses is height. Boom, told you. That's not a fun fact though. You know when someone sometimes will say something like really like just kind of boring, and they'll be like fun fact. Sometimes, I mean, every now and then it can be fun. That's not really a fun one. I think you'd hit a roadblock at a conversation at a party if you were like, oh, fun fact, the difference between a horse and a pony is height. They'd be like, yeah, that's information that everybody already has. So that's not something to learn. But that was just something that I was thinking about, and now I'm wondering how's the woman and her pony doing? You know, is it just her and the pony? She's got to be single. She's not. I don't know, or maybe there's a whole community. You know, there's a community of people that are into dressing up like animals, but it's dressing up like cartoon animals, and then they have sex with each other. And then there's a community of people that are sexually attracted to balloons. They're called looners. So maybe there's a community of people. It's not sexual with a horse, but it's like, I got a horse, you get a horse. Pray to God our fucking horses get along. Or maybe they don't, and they're like, okay, our horses don't get along. Now we both need additional support. Let's get a raccoon. Or whatever. I don't know. Animals are everywhere right now, though. I mean, who isn't talking about Joe Exotic? This guy must be fucking cooking in jail. He's not getting to soak it up in real time. Oh, he's just hearing through everybody that he's getting famous, but he's not getting to enjoy that shit. You know he's famous in the jail, though. I have no doubt someone like that is gonna be bringing drama wherever you go. If you're someone who creates chaos to the point where, you know, you're at a funeral for your husband and you're looking the mom in the eye talking about what the husband rubbing his balls on your face, and that's one of your favorite pastimes. I mean, if that's your reality, then I'm just gonna go out on a limb and assume I'm having like technical issues. Excuse me. You know that someone like Joe Exotic, he's in jail, and he's causing chaos in jail. It's not like someone where that chaos. It's not. It's the person bringing it wherever they go. You know, he's not going to switch personalities. If anything, he's going to be emboldened. Like, you should see me outside of this jail, and they're going to be like, pretty easy to picture due to that haircut. All things are believed. One time I got to work on this project, and one of Larry David's like heads of his company, Larry David from Seinfeld and Curb Your Enthusiasm, she was there. And I said, wow, so you got to work with Larry, what's he like? And she went, oh, he's like totally chill in real life. He's just so chill. Like everything just slides right off his back. He's laid back guy. And I was like, really? And she said, no, he is how he is. He is how he is. Joe Exotic, same thing. Although it'd be pretty funny if he wasn't. If he was just like a totally different guy with like an English accent. He's the best actor ever. And you're like, Joe, you got everybody fooled. He's like, yeah, I'm not even gay. I love the women. I'm not even gay. I just was trying to, I just wanted to make a good production, and I wasn't getting cast in anything. And so I came up with this Joe Exotic character, and that woman, Carol Baskin, really did sincerely piss me off, and I just ran with it. And now I'm in fucking jail. So help me out, you know? I know so many people have talked about Joe Exotic, but I just want to know why that guy, that husband of his, had his shirt off the whole time. And I also want to know about the sex. I mean, badly. I'm just curious. I'm curious who's fucking who. Presumably, you would think Joe was the top because he had the two husbands, and that's normally thought of as something that the man has two wives. But those guys were straight, so maybe were they fucking him? I mean, everybody's getting fucked in all ways, but was he? I mean, let's just all take a moment to picture that. Okay, I'm sorry I just brought us down that road. I'd pay to see it though. I want to see who's fucking who. Do you think he like role plays tiger stuff? You know he's having sex with one of them, like, call me king of the castle. Who's the big tiger now? That's part of what they were doing. These people were building these worlds where they had total control, where they, besides the tigers being the star, they're the ringleaders of these things that most people are afraid of. So they're getting this sense of power in this situation that they've created. And the other guy, the doc, he did that intern with women. And then Carol, she's into some shit. There's a picture of her with her husband. What was her husband's name? Howard? I think it was Howard. And I think he was the most Howard I'd ever seen. Whatever his name was, it translates into fucking doofus. He was a doofus. Just like... And there was a picture of him, and she's holding him on a leash. She's standing, and he is crouching. And she's putting stuff in his butt. That's the end of it. They're not just having missionary sex, or if they are, she's on top. I'll tell you that right now. Her husband probably died because she put too many big things up his butt. There is something sexual. You don't spend that much time so preoccupied with something that has to do with a power play, and then it doesn't translate into some sexual shit. I'm not judging that. I am not judging that. That's not the part. The sex was not the part that I would judge. I judged in a way where I felt sad for the straight guys that were with Joe, that were doing that because, he was preying on them. But I feel sad for Joe because I don't know why I feel sad for Joe. Everything about it was fascinating and sad, but it wasn't insanely far out from me. I saw these posts from people being like, I can't believe people like that exist. What? Why not? I can. And guess what? In a couple months, there's going to be something fucking weirder about a cat village. No, about like a walrus village that was happening during quarantine, and one of the walruses brought back the Macarena. I mean, there's all kinds of crazy shit out there. I'm maybe not that surprised because I grew up in the country, and I've been around people from the backwoods, and man, are they funny. Truly. I mean, really rural Maine. That's where I'm from. So this to me, yeah, Joe Exotic would have been an oddity. No, there's no one like him where I'm from, but it's not a stretch. It's sure as shit not a stretch. There's this guy, I think his nickname is like Murby. I actually remember it, but I'm not going to say it. It rhymes with Murby. And he was a lobster guy. And I'm friends with this woman who's a female lobster woman in Maine, which I respect so much. And she's got a really incredible story. I actually pitched doing a reality show about her, and it was picked up by a production company. It was about her, and they wanted to have other lobstermen in it, lobster people in it, and none of the other lobster people would talk because they don't really pay taxes. But there were all these like characters, and it was really, really interesting. We didn't end up getting to do it, but she was telling me about this guy Kirby. He's got like no teeth. He's driving. He says he did not like the idea of a female lobster woman. And he would like get in his truck and just drive around and give her the finger, drive by her house, finger, just like, bah. Kirby, he's got one tooth and it's on his forehead. Like, if that guy walked into Joe Exotic's world, you'd be like, Joe, your uncle is here. It wouldn't be, and I've seen that guy and guys like that. I mean, there was this guy I used to buy pot from when I was in 8th grade. You remember the first people that sold you drugs? Think about that. Think about those characters. Like the first time where you had some friend that's like, my brother's friend knows a guy, and they're willing to hang out with 8th graders. And at the time, you're like, yes, finally, a cool motherfucker. And then you get older, and you're like, each year that you get older, but you're still in that ballpark, you're like, what were we doing at that guy's house? And they always got some nickname, D-Dog, Case Killer, Case Beater. I promise she's over 18, but don't ask questions, David. Like, it's just, they all have some kind of weird, I forget what the first guy, it was something dog. It was like Matt Big Dog. I'm sure it wasn't Little Dog. It was Big something. I remember going to his house and getting pot from this guy. I'm in 8th grade. It's 3 8th graders. And he's like, yeah, you guys can have some as long as you smoke with me. Imagine smoking pot with some 8th graders. Fucking shoot me. And we smoked with him. I think he still lived with his mom, but he was definitely in his 40s. It was just a lot going on. So someone like that guy, that to me, that's like, people like that, I'm not going to lie, I lost my train of thought. I'm going to connect it to Tiger King. Yeah, But someone like that you would think would be on Tiger King. And I could see it. So I feel like that's the person in most people's lives that would be the closest to being on Tiger King. That first weed guy. There was a guy out in the backwoods that knew that weed guy. I swear to God, this is true. This is crazy. Okay. Someone was talking about George Bush. And then this guy pipes in and he's like, and that's why I don't like politics. Because that guy was president for 16 years. That guy was president for 12 years. You just see me just sit on my fingers. He goes, that guy was president for 12 years. And everyone's like, what? And he's like, yeah, the system is broken. And he's like, I don't pay attention, but... And everyone was like waiting for him to be like, ah. And he wasn't kidding. He didn't know about Bill Clinton up in there. So he's thinking that it was George Bush and then George Bush. We're like, no, it's two different Bushes. And we must have all been high, and maybe he was kidding and just messing with us, but I remember it, and because of things like that, I wasn't startled by Joe Exotic. I was like, whoa, fascinating. But I wasn't like, I can't believe there are people like that out there. No way. And him running for office, he mobilized people. That's the power and the problem with charisma. Charisma can really make you get in over your head. Like, charisma makes people listen, and it makes impressionable straight guys that you're offering meth to get married to you. Fuck. And one of them had his shirt off the whole time for no reason, and they were agreeing to be on camera. I mean, when the guy got shot, too, how crazy was that? You know who I think hated Joe more than Carol? I think it was the guy that was his campaign manager. I think that guy fucking hated him. I think he hated him. But anyway, everybody's talking about that. And then after that, there's just so much other TV. There's so much. Me and my girlfriend have this thing because she likes to watch TV for like hours before bed. But she'll fall asleep to it. So she'll watch it for like 20 minutes and I'm like up watching. And she always wants to watch true crime. So it's just like, it's too much true crime. I mean, I'm watching so much true crime at this point. I just turn it on and right away I'm like, the uncle did it and everyone was molested. Like, I just know what happened. I'm not proud of it, but it just feels kind of weird. I do want to take this time, in the bunker to try to do some self-improvement. Like, for sure, why not? I definitely haven't been exercising, that's for sure. Like the opposite. I had been exercising. I was working out with this guy, Mike. My mom was helping me pay for it. Thanks, Mom. She was like, she gave it to me as a Christmas present, some personal training sessions. I was working out with him. We were making progress, kinda. I gained weight, but I think it was muscle. We were making progress, and then this hit. And then, I don't know, I'm a big stress eater. I've just been, like, stress eating. Just going into the refrigerator like it's, like, the last person at the bar, and it's closing time, and she looks like the human embodiment of Craigslist, but I'm just doing laps like, all right, getting the sandwich. Too much eating. Too much snacking when I'm not hungry. But I'm like trying to think about improvement. So the self-improvement thing I wanted to talk to you guys about today is this book I skimmed. I skimmed it. This book I skimmed is called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. All right. So when I first hear that, that's like an eye roll. Because I'm like, all right. Here are the habits. Just so we can all know them, because this is a very popular book. Here are the habits. Number 1, be proactive. Okay. Number 2, begin with the end in mind. Now that's not something I do. I begin with the beginning, and then I'll romanticize the end, and then I never think about the end. I think about the excitement of the beginning, which has gotten me a lot of trouble in relationships. Begin with the end in mind. What if you don't know what the end is? Well, this is maybe why I'm not someone that they would do a effective people thing about. They do one on me to be like, quirky people. What are some habits of quirky people? And then it'd just be me eating peanut butter with a freaking Charleston chew. Making excuses like, well, if they didn't want you to put your hand in the peanut butter jar, they wouldn't make the top so big. 7 habits of quirky people. That's what I'm holding out for. But in the meantime, okay, 7 habits of highly effective people. All right. Be proactive. Begin with the end in mind. First things first. Well, how are we supposed to have with the end in mind if first things are first? Think. Win-win. So you got to be thinking win-win. Win-win-win. That's what I feel like Mike Pence is thinking about, honestly. I think he's up there like win-win. Win-win-win-win. Win-win-win-win-win-win. Win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win. Is Wisconsin in America? Yeah. Win-win-win-win-win-win-win. Football. Win-win-win. I like cheese. American cheese. Win-win-win. Win-win-win. Does that woman have boobs? Oh, I've sinned. Win-win. That's what I think he's thinking about. Also, I like American cheese. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that's what I think he's thinking about. That's what if I had to guess, that's what he's thinking of. He's win-win, win-win, win-win. Here's another one. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Now, I get that. Let's think about that. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Okay. So, before you can ask for people to understand you, you need to understand who you're asking, what the context is, and why you are asking it. So I'm with that one 100%. I kind of like the win-win one too. Win-win, win-win, win-win. But I get that. Seek first to understand. I dig that 100%. And I've made a mistake of not doing that. You know, I'm thinking about how I am a little bit with acting. Like, I sometimes do acting. The reason I was talking with my therapist about the other day, I'm like, I do acting out of fear because I think that's what I'm supposed to do, to make it an entertainment, and I do it because of that. And I haven't really studied acting, so I'm just going for it with these auditions, but I'm not really like learning the craft. Now I'm signed up for an acting class. You know, I'm doing that shit. But basically, in the past, what I had been doing was seeking to be understood. Understand me as an actor. And I don't even understand what the fuck I'm doing. How can I be understood if I don't understand? And I've definitely done that in many ways. I guess a lot of comedians do that because we seek to be understood on stage and then for us to understand. But I guess we need to understand first before we can be understood. So, seek first to understand, then be understood. All right. Okay, here's number 6. Synergize. Synergy. Okay, we've been given a gift right now in some ways. Being in our bunkers. We're forced to synergize. We're literally fucking forced to synergize. Because all these things that were like distractions are now, think about it. Your distractions. All the different things that you do that filled up your day that did not exactly, that you had to physically get to or be a part of, are removed. This is like an elimination diet, which the one time I pretended to do those, I'm going to be totally honest, I pretended to do one, and I snuck the foods I wasn't supposed to. Actually, I did it twice. One of the times I was better about it than the other one, but everything's been eliminated. So now we get to really see where the synergy is not happening. I'll tell you right now, I'm gonna say it. I'm recording this on April 5th, 2020. The synergy in my life, 2%. What's synergized? I don't know. Everything is all over the place. You know? Like, the thing that's the most synergized about me in a way is doing stand-up at night because I got my set. I know what I'm doing. I'm interacting with people. I'm having fun some of the times. Some of the times I'm fucking stressed out. I'm just up there like, fuck, I gotta write more or whatever. But that synergy, that's not, I haven't felt synergy. Man, I don't even know. What's the time you felt synergy? Do you feel synergy in your life? I mean, that's, to me, that synergy, that's the money shot right there. But how do you get synergized? All right, let's look it up. How do you get synergized? This is a better deep dive than me and the horse. How to get synergized. Let's see. How do we do it? Okay. Guess what pops up? First thing that pops up when you Google how to get synergized. The 7 habits of highly effective people. Habit number 6. Synergize. I guess let's see what it means. Synergize, because that is the fucking, if you can synergize, then everything's working for everything. Everything feeds into everything else. I'm not familiar with that shit. You know? Okay. Here's what it says according to the 7 habits of highly effective people. The essence of synergy is to value and respect differences. What? Value? That's not what I thought it was. I thought it was like when one thing goes into the other thing and it's all lubed up and it's working. You know, like okay, if you get one of those, if you get a snack pack and it's a snack that you have that also has a dip, and the dip has a separate thing that's on top of it. You know, like, what are those? Not snacks, not Kudos, not the ones with the little cookie and then you dip it in the frosting. Or I can't remember the name of it, but Dunkaroos. So you had to peel the whole top of the Dunkaroo thing off to get to the Dunkaroo Yum Yum, the frosting. I was an overweight kid, by the way. Just as a fun fact. That's a kind of fun fact. So you gotta. There'd be no if you didn't remove the frosting peel correctly. So you're trying to dunk your Dunkaroo, and each time you're having the fucking pat it on the frosting, and then you squish the cookie through the frosting, and it breaks off, and then you pull out some, and then you eat it, and it's all a fucking mess. That's no synergy. Synergy to me is you stretched, so your arms all ready, and then you got the cookie in your hand, and there's nothing around, and there's nobody judging you. Am I making you horny? I fucking am feeling it. Hello, food. But your arms all like ready to go, and then you're just dipping and eating and chewing, and then dipping and eating and chewing. It's synergized. You're eating. There's synergy. So value and respect differences. I fucking am tapping out on trying to understand this shit. But I want to get better. I believe in me and you. Okay. The essence of synergy is to value and respect differences, to build on strengths and to compensate for weaknesses. Okay, so maybe it's like, I think the Dunkaroos example is going to have to go. Because it's like if the synergy, yeah, that does make sense in that example, because it's like the synergy, if the weakness is the top thing that's preventing you from dipping and moving, then you remove the top thing to compensate for the weaknesses of that top thing, because your arm is strong, so you got that. The author says that many of us haven't actually experienced synergy in our family lives or in other interactions. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah. Synergy. I mean, when I think of synergy, I think of like getting away with something. It'd be like, I told my dad I was at my friend's house, and then my friend's mom called and said it was nice to see me last night, but doesn't say that I left at 8 when I told my dad I didn't leave until 10 p.m. I'd be like, that fucking lie synergized. Maybe, I guess I'm using it wrong. The author says, we've been shaped into defensive and protective communications. Yes. Or into believing that life or other people can't be trusted. Sure. They can. They can. But it takes a minute. I can be pretty trusting. But now something I've really learned in the past month or so is that actions speak louder than words. 100%. And you always got to be thinking, where's my self-respect at in this fucking thing? Someone can be very charming, but then they're fucking not helping you out in the back end. What are the actions? What are the words? So the author says, therefore, we have a tendency to not open up this highly effective principle, which requires enormous personal security and openness and a spirit of adventure. That's all that we need to synergize, And then they have some math equation. Below are 3 different levels of communication and the level of trust that is associated with each. But they bring math into it, so fucking nope. So synergy, they say, is about valuing differences. Interesting. How do you guys feel about learning self-help together? I'm all about it. What makes people effective? Why are some people, why was it? I remember when I was in college, there was this girl. She was amazing. Wei Wong. She's fucking. She was Puerto Rican. I'm just kidding. She wasn't Puerto Rican. But she's amazing. And we were friends. Not friends. We were friendly. If she ever heard this, she'd be like, who the fuck? And she would, I don't know, not to brag, but I think she'd remember me. We had some mutual friends. But she was incredible. And I remember at graduation, she got this giant award. And it was like, wow. Everyone else was fucking around at the cafeteria, Emma. No, they said they were like, they were like, while everyone got their 4-year degree or whatever, Way got an MBA. She worked full time at UPS, and she did this and she did that, and she was a triathlete, and she was doing all this shit. And I'm over there like, okay, I had 2 majors, and I had a bunch of sex. I fucking had sex a bunch with people, partied. I guess there was synergy in my partying, but it's like, what was it? Was it, and it could have been a few different things. It could have been parents, could have been, sometimes something, I wish I hadn't said her specific name, because it could be, I know there can be I knew other people that I knew was some immigrants when I was in college, and their mindset towards work, my friend Naya, she was an Ethiopian immigrant, and her mindset towards work was, she was fucking on it because she appreciated everything every step of the way. People from outside this country appreciate things in the country more than most Americans because they've been without it. So they look at the infrastructure from a bird's eye view because they haven't always been a part of it. They understand capitalism ins and outs and how they can assert themselves in that in a way where if you've just always been around it, you're just like, I just want to consume more. That's me. So there's all these things, but it's like, what was someone born more synergistic? Was someone born, nature or nurture? But guess what? I don't fucking think it matters, because you've got the option to nurture yourself into making that your fucking nature. We've all got that option. I'm not good about it. But so it's got to be like no excuses. So it doesn't matter what made someone do something. It just matters that we've got the opportunity to learn from it and try out that shit. Basically, I need to go back in college and break her knees. Just kidding. Hope she's well. But synergize. Okay, and I can't forget the last one for the 7 habits. Sharpen the saw. Oh, construction tips. Sharpen the saw. No, they say sharpen the saw, and then they do one of those things. It's like a semicolon. A semicolon. Fucking, I've put those in emails when I didn't know what I was doing, just hoping I pulled it off. Sharpen the saw. Growth. Yeah, you always, yeah. Okay. That's not really a new thing, but I guess, okay, so that's a habit of effective people. Yeah, you want to grow and you want to fucking adapt. You know what's effective? The iPhone. And they're updating that motherfucker every 5 months. We know that because if we have them, we all got to buy them because they got us by the goddamn balls. Okay, so that was the self-help thing. I want to be doing some segments in this. And this is my first episode, guys, so I'm just really like sharing you my hopes and dreams here. I want to be doing segments on growth, because I don't fucking know. On how to be more effective. I don't know. You're listening to someone with few life skills. I'm good at networking. I'm good at networking. I'm good at working with other people. And I used to be good at shoplifting. When I was in 8th grade, I was a fucking animal shoplifting. And then I'm good at that's, there might be some other things. Making people feel recognized, and my mom said. I think she meant that passive aggressively. She always said, you're very charming. One time I had a breakup. Many times I had a breakup. And I remember sitting with her, and the girl had wrote me some letters, like, here's all your stuff. I wish we never met. She was upset. I broke up with her. She was very upset. And this person was a catch. She was a great person. I used to be a real fucking ass about it. The worst of me would come out in relationships, which I've learned is true for a lot of people. But my mom was looking at me and she goes, I can see why someone would be upset that your relationship didn't work out, because the truth is, Emma, yeah, you're disorganized. Yes, you don't recycle. You're bad at recycling. Yes. Yeah, you don't recycle. I know you don't. You say you will and you won't. You say sweet things and there's not a lot of follow through, and you can be very frustrating, and you get a lot of wild ideas, and you're bad at details. You really are. Your sister was always better at that. She was, But at the end of the day, you're very charming. Very charming. I said, oh, thanks, Mama. I'm so glad that you could see why someone would be upset to not be with me. Bitch. She said, I get it. It reminded me, there's a comedian named Sam Morril. You gotta Google. Oh my God. If you're looking for something to watch. He has a special on YouTube that he filmed. No one bought it. And then Comedy Central Digital bought it and they released it. Now it's got like over 1 million views on YouTube. So he's got this, man, that guy's such a good writer. Great. He's a great guy, I find. But he, to me, he's a real, That's when I think New York comedy. That's one of the people I think of, New York comedy, because he's just going around, going to all the different clubs. But I remember, I don't know if he made this into a joke, but I remember talking with him, and he was on America's Got Talent, and he got voted off. He lost to a guy named Tape Face. Now, when he first told me that, I didn't know the guy's name was actually Tape Face. I thought he was calling the guy Tape Face, and I thought it was some kind of slur. I was like, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. And he was like, no, it's really his thing. He's got tape in his face, his whole thing. But then he was like, yeah, my mom called and was like, well, I voted for you. And he was like, thanks, Mom. I would have assumed. You know, that wasn't the only vote I was counting on, but I would have, thank you for, you know, and she's just being sweet, but that reminded me of that. She's like, why, you know. So I want to learn stuff, and I want to interpret dreams. I had a dream not too long ago where I've shared it a bunch of times about how I had to jerk off a cartoon dog, and I hired a woman to analyze it. And I'll tell you guys about that, not in this episode. I'll tell you about it, though. So that's a teaser. But I also want to do something called deep dives, where I go in and I figure out what the fuck happened to certain people. And you know who I've been wondering about? Mike Jones. Do you guys remember Mike Jones? Remember Mike Jones? I'm going to leave a little space there so maybe we can play a little bit of his. Mike Jones. He gave out his phone number, 481-330-8004. I don't know if that was it, but if it was, God, he's a genius. I mean, think about that. You know? Like, he had the song Back Then. Let's see if I can get it pulled up over here, up in this motherfucker. He had a song. Oh, that's not him. That's Neil deGrasse Tyson. But he had, this is Mike Jones. All right. And also, why and how are there thumbs down to Mike Jones videos? I mean, people need to get. All right, skip it. Now I'm pulling up Mike Jones. Yeah, and he had a whole thing. Who? Mike Jones. Who? Remember? And he was with Paul Wall. He was huge a while back. Doing, you know, you text me, Mike Jones. There he is. I like that he says another banger, but this was his first banger. Don't try to sneak it in. This was the first big one. Or was it? No, this is Back Then. I think it was. Yeah, I used to love this. I remember this. I lived in Maine when I'm pretty sure when this came out. I was in Maine, and I loved this. I originally wanted to work in music. Yeah, I originally wanted to work in music and to do A&R. I didn't even know what that meant. I interned at like a hip hop recording studio. Because when I was in Maine, I was fascinated with words as a product. Because I never did well in school. So I was like, okay, what's something that I can use when I don't do well in school? And then I would listen to rappers talking about how they came from nothing. Now, I wasn't coming from nothing. I always had everything I wanted. But didn't seem like I was going to be able to go to college. Didn't seem like I was going to be able to do anything. So I related to that, like, fucking, that mentality. And I loved it. And I interned at a hip hop recording studio. I'll tell you guys about that another time. Crazy shit at that. Fucking Bobby Brown coming in. I was trying to write songs for the singer JoJo. Remember she sang Leave, Get Out, you know, all that. She didn't, to be clear, she never saw one. I never sold her one. I was hoping. Didn't. But yeah, this was Mike Jones. And I was thinking about him the other day because I got a cell phone number. You know, I was like, who's a good person to learn how to make an infotainment from? This fucking guy. And then I was like, wait a minute. No, it's not. What happened to Mike Jones? And that sucks. If you're someone who is saying, like, who's Mike Jones? And then you get hot, and then everyone's like, wait, where's Mike Jones? So, all right, let's go into it. So I did a deep dive. Deep dive. You wonder what the fuck happened. Okay, that's my deep dive. See, I took fucking notes. I'm not fucking around. I'm for real about this shit. Front cam. Okay. So, Mike Jones is coming out of Houston in the mid-2000s. Man. So if this was before your time, Mike Jones, he's coming out of Houston, and it was him and a couple other guys. Paul Wall, who was this white guy who was in the Best Buddies program. I think he was someone. It was a Make-A-Wish situation for him. Not officially, but I'm reading between the lines here. So is Paul Wall. No, I'm just kidding. Paul Wall sells teeth now, you know. And if I ever met Paul Wall, I'd probably be like, I'd want some of those fucking teeth, and I'd go find this, and I'd delete it. But it was Mike Jones, Paul Wall. It was this label, Swisher House. And I think it was also this guy, Slim Thug, was on it. So if you don't remember, or you just are a healthy person and you don't stick on to stuff and you forgot this, Slim Thug had a song. I forget what his hit was, but after his hit, he had another song called Wamp Wamp What It Do. Not a hit. Not a hit. Wamp Wamp What It Do. But I liked Wamp Wamp What It Do. I want that to be clear. I liked Wamp Wamp What It Do. I liked Wamp Wamp What It Do. Wamp Wamp What It Do. Someone had to write that. Him, presumably. He had to he sat down and he wrote Wamp. Wamp. What the fuck comes next? Wamp Wamp. Wamp Wamp how it is. Wamp Wamp what you thinking? Wamp Wamp what? Wamp Wamp what time? No. Wamp Wamp. Wamp Wamp what is over there? And someone was like, nah, that has no ring to it. It's getting all frustrated. Wamp Wamp what it do? I mean, Wamp Wamp what it do? That's what you say right before you go down for the count after you've had a seizure. You just seize up and like, Wamp Wamp what it do? Could you imagine greeting someone like this? This is a grown man. And I think racism is involved. Let me tell you why. And if this is problematic, I need to figure out if it is for me to be. But this is what I think it is. Why were we... this is a grown man. And a smart grown man who was smart enough to get himself out there and have some hit songs. And he had a song called Wamp Wamp What It Do. And everyone was like, not a hit. But we should have been like, has he been hit in the head? Why are we okay with accepting that from him? And why is no one pushing him to be better when he's shown that he has an IQ over -4? He's out here saying, Wamp Wamp What It Do? Now, maybe the Wamp Wamp What It Do movement was a lot bigger and I'm just asking for trouble. In which case, fucking take me away. Either bring me in the group because I want in, or take me away. Maybe that Wamp Wamp. Maybe all these people are gonna be coming after me. Wamp Wamp, what it do now, dumb motherfucker? Ellen wanna be look like motherfucker. Wamp Wamp, Wamp Wamp, Wamp Wamp, what it do? I don't know. Maybe there's a whole movement of it and I missed it, and I shouldn't be saying that we should have had a problem with him doing it, but he did it, and I thought, what? We gotta expect more. Slim Thug, also known as Slim Thugger. So these are guys way back. What are they doing now? We don't know. So I'm like, what the fuck? What happened with Mike Jones? So Mike Jones, he bursts on the scene. He's giving out his cell phone number. It's really his number. People are calling it. It was all through like relentless self-marketing, and it worked because he had a song. It did the album "Who Is Mike Jones." It sold 180,000 units in his first week. So the album goes platinum. Who is Mike Jones? He's giving out his fucking 381-440-800, whatever. And then he had another song after this that was called Leaning on Dat Butter. Now, I didn't hear about that song, and I love butter. So they didn't do their marketing right on that one, because I love butter. I love butter. I'll lean on that butter. I'll slip and slide. You want me to tell you something? Picture a slip and slide made out of butter. I'm not even hungry right now, and I'm talking about any fucking kind of butter. Even margarine, I don't give a fuck. And margarine isn't butter, and I can't believe it's not butter. Whatever. But that's how much I like butter. Even any knockoff butter, I'm down with it. Soy butter, I don't give a fuck. I get a glimmer of butter and I want more of that shit. I love butter. Every time I eat butter, I'm like, I want to go keto. And then I remember you have to do other things to go keto, and I'm like, nope. I fucking love butter. So he had a song Leaning on That Butter, and I didn't hear butter. And I was a fan at the time. Let's not forget. I was over there like 381-440-8004. I don't know if that was his number. I should try to call him. I'm a fan of this guy. I'm sure I bought Who Is Mike Jones. And I was telling everybody, you know about Mike Jones? He's a genius. I love that mentality of, I love that. You know, he made it happen for himself. He did that, literally, guerrilla marketing. He's out there doing that. That's not easy. And I respect that. So what happened? Then it's been leaning on that butter. Maybe butter stands for something and it doesn't mean butter like a delicious cooking condiment, but I don't know. So I would have liked to hear Leaning on That Butter, and the first time I heard about Leaning on That Butter was when I started Googling what the fuck happened to Mike Jones. You know? If I ever meet him, I would have said, hey, hi, hello. I sound like the impression of, I sound like the white voice people do when they're impersonating white people when I did that. Hi, hello, I would have liked to hear Leaning on That Butter. Well, golly gee willikers, why didn't I? And he'll be like, I'm not Mike Jones, you racist motherfucker. I'm Slim Thug. And I'll be like, oh shit. I repent. Fuck. Gotta constantly analyze. You know. Because, oops. So, but Mike, Leaning on That Butter, what happened? I was a supporter of Mike Jones. You know? So I didn't hear Leaning on That Butter. Maybe Chris can find a way to loop it in around here. Do a little at the end of it. Maybe Chris can. Shout out to Chris the engineer, audio engineer Chris Thomas. If you're looking for any audio needs, shout out to Chris. Also, shout outs to Mike Levin, who's helping me out with video. Okay. Leaning on that butter. So this article I read said, leaning on that butter. They use this, they go, leaning on that butter, which as of this writing, only boasts a paltry 360,000 YouTube views on its official leak video. First of all, who the fuck says paltry? If you're not talking about a turkey, then I don't want to hear the word poultry, anything that sounds like poultry. Poultry, that is no. It was just a paltry. It was a paltry amount of butter. You mean it wasn't enough? Yeah, and I'm an asshole and I don't deserve enough butter. It was a paltry amount. Please, sir, can I have some more? The amount was paltry. Where'd you learn that big word? Paltry. Fuck that person. So they say compared by Still Tippin', if you remember that, Still Tippin' was a huge song. Still Tippin' racked up 3 million. All right, so I guess it does seem a little low. But we're not going to use poultry. What the fuck? So this is it. So it's not totally clear what happened to Mike Jones, but this is what they mentioned that in 2008 he and T-Pain, remember T-Pain? I've met a few people that have met and worked with T-Pain and said he was wonderful. This one guy I know said that he put on a huge concert, huge, and this is in the past 2 years. And T-Pain was there, and I thought this was hilarious. He said T-Pain showed up early, wanted to see the stage, wanted to practice, and he said he was like hilarious and absolutely awesome. Now, someone else told me he was an asshole, so I don't really know, but the guy, people can be different in work and then in real life. This guy who's a producer and T-Pain was like, I don't know if he was headlining it or what, but he was like, he was awesome. And he worked it, like he was all in, you know? And he was like, and we paid him okay, but he was fucking in. I also appreciate T-Pain canceled a bunch of tour dates and he's like, I didn't sell enough tickets. And then his promoters were like, don't say that. But he was like, yeah, so I guess him and T-Pain had a nasty lawsuit brought on by the producers who claimed the melody I'm in love with the stripper was their own. So those producers were in the car and they heard that I'm in love with the stripper melody and went, oh, you're sued, motherfucker. Lean off that butter. We're taking the butter away. So maybe that just did Mike Jones in. I don't know. That was in 2008. Maybe the lawsuit was brewing before that and all his money was going into legal fees, so he didn't get in to record. But what happened? I couldn't find anything about family stuff or any kind of other legal stuff. The only thing I could find was that him and T-Pain got sued by the I'm in love with the stripper people. But okay, you get sued by one, go make another do another thing. You know? There's really no answer. I couldn't find. You know what I mean? He did an album. Get this. This is a little hint that he drops us. He did an album, a third album called Where Is Mike Jones? Oh, you fucking asshole, Mike Jones. You know we wanted to know. And the rapper referenced, you know, he referenced the lawsuit, but he doesn't, you know, there's just like, so I don't know what happened. What the fuck happened? Are you better at deep diving than me? I dove deep. But I want to tell you guys my favorite part. Okay. I guess Mike Jones, the rapper, did a commercial for a Columbus, an attorney in Columbus, Georgia, who's also named Mike Jones. And that commercial aired during a Super Bowl. So I don't know. Maybe he got enough from that and was like, that's all I wanted. I'm fucking out. You know, what do I rap about after that? You know, these guys, he's a business guy. And a lot of times you do the business you have the opportunity to be in. So maybe that was the case. And because clearly he should have been in marketing. And he was. That brought him up to that. Mike Jones. Maybe he wanted out of rap because he's hanging out with guys with the same name Slim Thug. Just whamp, whamp, what it do? I told you what it did. Can we move on? Whamp, whamp, what it do? God. I don't know. So that was my deep dive. Mike Jones. You know who I'm doing a deep dive on next episode? Danity Kane. Next episode, I'm going to be talking about sugar as a drug and the highs and lows of it and addiction stuff. I want to tell you guys a story about when I came out to my mom. It was a fucking shit show. I've come out to her over the years about a few different things. Also, I'm going to talk about trying to learn how to have better etiquette. All kinds of stuff. And then we got bonus episodes where I'm talking to some comedy friends. I'm still going to be doing the dream analysis. Just trying to stay safe. Stay sane. That's open for interpretation. But yeah, we're out here. Thank you so much. This is the first episode of Emma's Bunker. I just can't tell you how much I appreciate you. And yeah, I'll see you before next Wednesday, but for sure next Wednesday. Thank you.
Oh, Emma, 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 Emma.
Please welcome back Emma Willmann.
Oh, Emma. You're Emma. Oh, okay, Emma.
Here we